LBC. Text 84850.
Good afternoon and welcome back. Have a listen once again to your Prime Minister.
A lot of protection against serious illness and death, but it doesn't protect you against catching the disease, and it doesn't protect you against passing it on. So now is the time to get your booster.
Doesn't protect you against catching it, doesn't protect you against passing it on, so why would you enforce it on people in the name of stopping it being passed on from NHS workers to patients? It doesn't stop that. It reduces it a bit for 12 weeks, after which it's exactly the same as the unvaccinated when you're looking at transmission, according to the latest paper published on that. As for natural immunity, that lasts longer and is more wider-ranging because of T-cell immunity. Now, call the Prime Minister a conspiracy theorist and an anti-vaxxer. Call the people that did the new Oxford study on this. Call them conspiracy theorists and anti-vaxxers. It is absurd to me that people have stopped listening and stopped looking at the evidence on an issue as important as this. It's as important as this because what you're asking to do is set a precedent that the population in a liberal democracy surrender their bodily autonomy to the state. That's not been done before. And so I wonder why, for something that has the infection fatality rate similar to the flu, why it's being done now. And if you're surprised about what I've just said, that thing about infection fatality rate being similar to the flu isn't just, as I referenced yesterday, what Steve Baker said in Parliament, which he did say, by the way, in Parliament, but it's also what Dr. Jenny Harries has said, as reported by The Telegraph. And Dr. Jenny Harries, at the end of the day, should know what they're talking about. The Chief Executive of the UK Health Security Agency, Dr. Jenny Harries, has said that COVID may no longer be the most significant threat to health. She said it's important to remember that for an average flu season, it's about 11,000 deaths a year. It's somewhere between 4,000 to 22,000 over the last 4 to 5 years. So we are starting to move to a situation where perhaps COVID is not the most significant element. And many of those individuals affected will, of course, have other comorbidities, which will make them vulnerable to serious illness, but other reasons as well. So the head of the UK Health Security Agency has said in an article that The Telegraph put out, and they've tweeted this, direct reading from their tweet, Dr. Jenny Harries said today that COVID was possibly no more dangerous than the flu. And that's published in The Telegraph on the 10th of October 2021. So when being double jabbed doesn't stop transmission, it doesn't stop infection, and the infection fatality rate is comparable to the flu, why are you forcing people to surrender their bodily autonomy to the state? Joe from Wimbledon, welcome.
Yes, good afternoon, Maajid.
Welcome.
And I'm just amazed that you're still being allowed to say these things. And the last caller, who you roundly told, it's not okay for you to just throw lazy slurs at me, that's great. And the previous caller, Nick, these are the real casualties
Nick in the care
of
home.
all of this. Yeah, that's right. Who's soon not to be in a care home. Yeah. And as you were saying several weeks ago, this crisis in the NHS, the staff shortage, is only being amplified by what they're now trying to do. And I wonder why, when you've just sort of said, and apparently the most up-to-date science on this is that natural immunity, i.e., one has antibodies for this, why they're not rolling out the antibody test more and actually making it quite difficult to get an official antibody test. I tried to get one, went into a chemist, which I won't bother to name. They said, well, we do have some, but they're not very accurate. We can't really sell it to you. And I thought that was a strange way of phrasing it. I said, okay, well, do you want to just give it to me then?
Wow.
Again, it was a no, but I managed, I just wonder why they're not making, if the antibodies, the natural antibody is the way, the most protection available, why they're not rolling that out more, rather than wanting to sort of foist this jab on everyone.
So the situation as we know it is for 12 weeks after the double jab, according to some of the research, for 12 weeks, the protection provided against transmission by the jab does appear to be stronger than those who have not been jabbed. But after 12 weeks, it goes to the the same level as those who are unvaccinated. The direct quote that I'll read again, if I can find it very quickly for you, I will read it. But the point I'm making with that is that what we do know about natural immunity is that it lasts longer than those 12 weeks.
Right. So why are they not making it easier for people to get an antibody test to show that they've got the antibodies, therefore they have a longer, more wide-ranging protection, as I understand it? Incredibly important, and as you can see, it's incredibly divisive as well. You know, you just had two callers on highlighting that perfectly.
Yeah, here is the paper is the impact of SARS-CoV-2 vaccination on Alpha and Delta variant transmission. The paper it's available online. It's very easy to find, and in that paper, which was I think the date on it, if I can find that, is I think it's it's October 2021. But that paper, it says directly, transmission reductions declined over time since second vaccination for Delta, reaching similar levels to unvaccinated individuals by 12 weeks.
Okay.
So what we know after 12 weeks with natural immunity, if you have it, you have a more wide-ranging protection because of the T-cell immunity, which and that's something that stays in the body system for a long time. There was research done even in New York about when you're looking at T-cell immunity, they found that most people already had immunity without ever realizing they'd contracted coronavirus because of T-cell immunity, T-cell immunity from previous coronaviruses. So that's how long it can last. You know, the T-cell immunity.
Right. So it's kind of layered, isn't it? Because they've had, they've got So why is this not being put out as information more then?
Well, this is the absurdity of the situation. Is I don't understand. I don't understand where this is all going. It's very worrying. But thank you for calling, Joe. Let's try and speak to Mary from Finchley. Welcome, Mary.
Hello there, Maajid. You're my favourite presenter, but on this occasion,
yes,
I really don't agree with you.
Okay.
Can you just tell me? Do you agree with people wearing face masks?
No, I don't think it does much, but you're more than welcome to disagree on that and choose what you wish to do with your face mask. I just don't think we can force people to wear them.
Right, so you don't believe in the jab or the face mask, is that right? Is that what
Mary, I'm double jabbed.
No, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about other people and me.
How can I not believe it?
1 minute, hang on, let me speak.
I'm not trying to understand what you're asking me.
Well, I haven't got there yet.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you are double jabbed, although you don't really believe in it, but you are anyway. Is that right?
No, that's not what I'm saying, Mary.
But why are you saying you're double jabbed if you're saying you don't believe that anybody needs to be jabbed?
That's not what I'm saying at all, Mary. Did you listen to the introduction of the show today?
I've listened to the whole programme.
I don't think you did, Mary.
Let me tell you.
Well, before you tell me something else, could you first understand what I'm saying?
I understand perfectly.
Oh, you don't, because you've just asked me if that's what I'm saying, and I've said no.
So I'm stupid, am I?
No, I'm wondering if you think I am.
I didn't phone up to have an argument.
No, but because Mary, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying not to get the jab. I'm asking you not to force people who don't want it to get it.
I understand perfectly what you're saying, but I don't agree with what you are saying, but I haven't yet got there. So what I'm saying is I'm vulnerable, I've had the jabs, but I don't believe that you should, for example, I choose, I'm elderly, I've got lots of conditions, right? I choose not to go to the hairdresser, I choose not to go and have my face waxed or doing things where people are right up close to me, because I don't want to get, and I don't even ask them, because I don't want to get anything if they have got, or haven't, whether they've been jabbed or they haven't jabbed or whatever.
Great, so you're taking responsibility for yourself. That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes, I take, but if I need to go to a hospital and a doctor or a nurse or caregiver of any description comes right up close to me, I am, not luckily, we've got private medical, and myself and my daughters, we've needed to go to hospitals lately for lots of different things, and we choose only to go to private doctor consultants in private hospitals because we know there is no COVID about. I don't want to go to an NHS hospital and find, like you're saying, they don't have to be jabbed and they don't have to wear this.
But it doesn't stop you getting it from them if they're jabbed, Mary.
What do you mean?
Exactly what I just said.
It doesn't stop me getting it. Well, when I went to
If they're jabbed, it doesn't stop them transmitting COVID to you.
But you're also talking about face masks. When I went to see recently a cardiologist, he had a really big face mask on.
Well, Mary, we're not talking about face masks today. We're talking about whether or not being doubly jabbed stops transmission. And I'm afraid that all of your concerns, as valid as they are, your solution doesn't address them, because being doubly jabbed does not stop transmission.
You scare me.
Okay, well, thank you for calling, Mary.
Goodbye, Mary.
Pleasure to speak to you. I hope that you're taking responsibility for your own life. That's great. If I scare you, don't come near me. I'm used to people thinking I'm scary and dangerous. That's what is being tweeted at me as well, simply for trying to
No,
remind people
Maajid,
of
you're
science.
brave and you're amazing.
Science being scary was precisely where lots of people that were responsible for the advancement of reason found themselves. And it should actually be the case that people that want to try and advance reason and science don't listen to what people say, but actually try and follow the evidence. Whether or not people find that scary or not, I'm sure Galileo had a hard time doing what he tried to do, even though clearly I'm no Galileo. The time on LBC is 1:48.